Okay, we're gonna go with this light. Alright, we're gonna go. Stop shutting off. I have to charge this thing? I mean, what is this? Oh. Ugh. Do I like this light? Do we prefer this light? Do we like this light if it's up here? No, it's weird. How do you charge this? I'm assuming I have a charger somewhere. Plugs for everything these days. I don't know where else this would go. Like, where else this would be. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you like me, my channel, and the stuff that I do, please hit subscribe. Alright, so ever since I released my Living with Panic Disorder vlog, I have gotten so many emails and so many responses, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this. So I wanted to just have a sit down chat, no fancy hair or makeup, just sort of like, hey, this is me. I generally don't live like that. This has to be one of the hardest videos to make, partially because I got so many email requests about different topics that you guys wanted me to touch on and different things to share, and also it's quite lengthy to go in depth about everything, and I want to give you guys as much information, as much love, as much care and thought as humanly possible. So what I've decided to do is sort of break it down into a series. Living with Panic Disorder X will sort of be what it's going to be called. And it's going to be a whole YouTube series. I think maybe we'll do Mental Health Mondays, and every Monday I will have a video for you guys that is about living with anxiety, or maybe living with depression. Maybe we'll even get some other people on who are willing to share their stories. You know, talk about meditation and life and health and everything. So when we say mental health, it's going to also cover, you know, foods that are good for your brain, you know, meditation, as I said, mindfulness as a practice and how it helps us. So let's not just say, okay, Rachel, this week you talked about, I don't know, hatha yoga. That isn't mental health. It is. It's just a different form of medicine. And again, that's something we're going to talk about, medicines. So I just sort of wanted to come in and talk to you guys. The last video I shared a lot about my struggle with panic disorder and what I had been through. Really, really important to me. I mean, some of the emails that I've gotten from you guys have been really touching. I asked if I could share this story, so I'm not like revealing anything, but basically I had a follower, or whatever you guys want to, friends. I like to call you guys friends. Follower is weird. I'm not like the Pharaoh of Egypt, who said to me she literally wanted to kill herself. She was, she'd gotten everything to kill herself, basically. I mean, I know this is getting dark, because she just couldn't live with such crippling anxiety, and right before she decided to go do it, she was about to take these pills, and she was about to hurt herself physically. She decided she was going to give it one last shot. She decided, you know, I never looked on YouTube, and she saw my video, and she saw that it was possible to be someone who could hardly leave the house, to someone who traveled the world and did all these things with their life. And so, I mean, I'm pleased to say she's still alive and kicking. She is traveling the world herself. She has a lovely partner that she's met, and really supportive of each other, and so on and so forth, and she's living a very happy life. So let's sort of start with some of the basic questions. How am I doing? I'm doing quite well. I'm in a place where I really control my anxiety. I can feel the sort of stressful points coming up. I can stop myself and breathe. Really, really feel in control of my life, and I've been really proud of myself for doing this. I've been able to travel and do things, and while flying and certain situations are obviously more stressful for me, I have been able to really live in the moment, a happy life, and I'm very grateful and very thankful for that. I definitely have days that are harder for me, but again, I am able to stop and meditate and remind myself, like, I just need to keep my prefrontal cortex on and keep the rational part of my brain on, and the way to do that is just by breathing and making sure it's getting oxygen and blood flow. I feel that London has been really good for me. I think that every single person needs to sort of choose their city, choose their home, and I've chosen mine, and it's been great. And I've gone through a lot of life changes, but honestly, I can say that I've only had a few big panic attacks, and all of them have been around sort of like major life changes or emotional struggles. So yeah, I'm doing really well, and I do have to credit the fact that I am on medicine. I think being on the Effexor has sort of turned down the volume of my anxiety. I'm still on the Klonopin, I've not weaned off, and I think, but there are times where I forget to take it. You know, I just forget to take my night dose or forget to take my day dose. So obviously I'm doing much better. I don't feel like I need it. It's sort of more just, it's just, I've been on it and I'd like to get off of it, but it's just, I think being stable, it's sort of daunting to say, oh, I'm gonna get off something that's, you know, sort of a nice little like cozy blanket, but it is bad for your brain, it's bad for your health. It's been linked to studies about Alzheimer's and things like that, so I would like to get off of it. No benzo is good for your brain. So yeah, but I do recommend it if you are suffering as a temporary relief, and as you learn some of the skills that will help you. And for me, those skills have been really educating myself about panic disorder, knowing that it is within my control, that it is something that even though at those times in my life I felt I could not control it, it is something that with the right mindfulness practice and the right, I would even say like physical practices, as in working out and going to the gym, I've been able to control it, I would say. Yeah, I would say control it. And that's a real relief as someone who suffered from it from such a young age. And I want to give you guys all that joy and happiness as well. Meditation, working out, eating well, focusing on long-term goals, focusing on short-term goals, and working your way there. So right now, maybe it's, I just need to get to my fucking mailbox. Just one step at a time, and you'll get there. And you'll get to your mailbox, and you'll get your mail. Maybe you'll run back into the house, but you know what? Today you got your mail. And I think that's a huge thing. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge where you're at. I know we all want to be over here, but don't judge yourself. Just understand you're here, and then you're gonna be here, and then here, and eventually you'll be over there. So you're gonna be okay. And yeah, I think just really being aware of that, and allowing that to be part of your ethos, your psyche sort of thing, not to judge yourself, because I think the moment you judge yourself, the moment you put pressure on yourself, and then the idea of having anxiety and living with anxiety becomes even more daunting than just having anxiety. So I think that's sort of why this is such an in-depth series. I have so many emails and questions, and I can honestly tell you I've emailed every single one of you back. I've had over 350 emails in the last year, just specifically from that video. So I can tell you guys that I know I've emailed you back. am pretty positive I've commented back on all of the comments on the video. So, I mean, I guess just the quick update is basically I'm still going ahead with meditation and yoga and, you know, educating myself about it, and I've come a really long way, and I'm still on my medicine and it's been working really well for me. I'm still my own mental health advocate. I have really stepped into my power, I would say, by knowing that there are times where I need to just say, look, I know if I take this on, I'm going to be taking on more than my brain and my body can handle. I'm also educating myself right now on the concept of the hypersensitive person. There's a book by Elaine and Aaron, PhD, called The Hypersensitive Person, How to Thrive When the World Overwhelms You. And I honestly think that most people who suffer from panic disorder probably would be classified as an oversensitive person. And now I know I talk about panic disorder, but even if you just suffer from anxiety in general and not panic disorder and overwhelming, crippling panic attacks, that doesn't mean that these videos won't help you, and that doesn't mean that this sort of Mental Health Monday series won't help you. But I mean, some of the things that she literally mentions is like, do you have a keen imagination and vivid dreams? Is time alone each day an essential part of your day in the way that like food and water is? Are you too shy or too sensitive according to others? Do you feel overwhelmed by bright lights and noises? And these are all things that like sort of trigger me in a way. I really need time to fill up myself and to take moments away from life and people, or I get really overwhelmed. The other thing that I really noticed is I have to feel my feelings. I have to cry it out, or having it bottled up makes me anxious. You know, I don't necessarily need to do something about my feelings. I don't need to like go and talk to someone. Like, you know, if I'm in an argument with someone, I don't have to like go and address them and cause a scene. But I do need to process it. I need to step away and have a moment to process it. And these are things that I find very important, and I want to encourage all of you guys to do. So, I mean, some of the things that are sort of on the docket so far, and I'd love some of your input as I go through this. But some of the things that are on my docket is, what has meditation done for me? What has it brought me? And then 5 items I use for my anxiety. So 5 things that I just always sort of have on hand that help me. And now that I think about it, I might do it I might kind of mention 10 items. So like 5 sort of like emergency items when I'm having a panic attack, like, you know, a cold compress, whether it's like just a really cold water bottle, or like, you know, a towel run in cold water, laying down on the floor and just saying, fuck it, I'm not gonna be embarrassed over this, I need to lay down on the floor right now. Or just things that I keep with me when I start to feel really stressed in the day, like always having my headphones with me so I can like tune out the world and listen to Spotify, rather than, you know, the noises of the train and the people and everything else. Things that let me sort of detach from the world and be back in just my space. 4 apps that help calm me. So a lot of them are meditation apps, but or I think they're kind of all meditation apps, but they all work in different ways. So some of them are the more traditional meditations, some of them are sort of relaxing noises or storytelling. And that's sort of the beginning of it. Oh, why self-care matters. That I think is a really important one. Why taking care of yourself really matters. And that I think is going to be a really big one. And if you guys have any other questions, please message me or comment below and just tell me, because I want to make sure I'm being as inclusive as possible. I feel I did a pretty full job of of explaining panic attacks in my last video on a definitely a scientific level, and also just how I personally experience them. But I also think I'm going, or rather I also know, and I've been wanting to for a while, to do a video on how to talk to others about panic disorder, because I think it's really hard to explain to other people. I think they're, you know, the number one question when you say, oh, I have panic disorder is, well, what are you anxious over? And I think it's really important that we find ways that that are educational for others, and maybe even like a bit detached for us emotionally, to be able to explain that panic disorder to people and anxiety to people. Because I think so often when people say that, we're automatically just like, oh, you don't understand, you're like the 20th person this month to just not understand. And I think it can be really, really frustrating. So I think we kind of need to like sit down and educate people, because I think it's easy to say like, well, you don't get it unless you have one. And that is probably true. You will never fully understand it until you have one, or unless you ever get one. But I think it's important that we do it. I mean, I am, like, my partner doesn't get crippling anxiety, and you know, he hardly gets any anxiety at all. So I had to really explain to him what it was, like what it was and what I experienced. And when he saw it for the first time, I was actually surprised at his reaction, because he kind of just was like, all right, tell me what you need, all right, leave me alone. I had kind of given him the ground rules of what I needed. And that's okay, that's actually another video idea, there you go. How to ask for what you need during a panic attack. You know, I think one of the most important things that people can tell you is all you have to do is breathe. That is your only job. Like, I promise you, if you walk away from this video with anything, because I know this is a bit of a scatterbrained video, but if you walk away from this video with anything, it is that in that moment, all you have to do is breathe. You have no other job. You know, like, okay, you have a meeting, you have something to go to, you have this, you have that, forget it. You can't go, you can't do this stuff if you're lying on a bathroom floor, not able to breathe, feeling like you're gonna vomit. Your only job is to breathe. Just be there and breathe. That's it. That's all you gotta do. There is nothing else. Yeah, so I will do a video on that, but I can say that when my partner did say it, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so embarrassed, you know, like I haven't, and this was 9 months into our relationship where he finally saw one, because I am doing much better. And he was like, is this is it? This is it? And I was like, yeah, this is what it looks like. And he was like, that's, like, I understand that for you, you're in a lot of pain. It's like, but you're not, you didn't burden me. Like, I didn't feel burdened. It just felt like, okay, in that moment you needed me, you were sick. I think, you know, let's sort of wrap this video here, and then on Monday you guys can expect a mental health Monday from me, and it will be on one of the topics. And as I said, please comment below and tell me more of what you want to see, and just topics, any question, and I will dive in deep, or as deep as I can. I'm happy to do the research and everything, so you guys let me know and I can get back to you and do the things that you need to continue on this journey and feel better. So I am sending you guys lots of love and lots of positivity, and I hope you have a lovely week or weekend, wherever you are when you're watching this. And I, like said, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you like me and what I talk about, subscribe. And I'm going to bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, because do you know what else is important with anxiety? Having a regular sleep schedule. So good night, good night, good night, good night.
So English.
I feel like this is not a good angle for anyone. Is this how people have sex?
I don't know why this one is so weird. Anyway, so. Like when a person has sex, they're looking at you like this. This is not good. Maybe just a flip stand top. So my chin is like this, and I posed perfectly. I'm just kidding, I don't really think about sex. Like, well, I think about sex, I don't think about while I'm doing it, I just kind of do it. Inappropriate times, yeah. This is so good. Well, anyway, so you guys asked me about how I was doing, and I am doing so much better. I am very happy. I love living in London.
Oh my god, I never stop yawning. Every single one of my videos I am yawning. Like, there should be a drinking game about my yawns in YouTube videos.
Wait, I give up. I keep going. That I video. Because I'm done.